我跟 President Biden 有相当多的互动，但是没有正式的所谓双边会谈。但是有好几个资深的官员比方说是 Secretary of State Lincoln， 比方说是 Vice President， 我跟他们几位都有相当深入的讨论，很多事情都不是能够成功或者失败来表达的比方说这次吧我认为我的任务就是传达蔡总统要我传达的4个讯息。那我觉得我已经做到了。
And it's important to our President Joe Biden. We're very proud of him. As you know, he made overtures with the President of China about trying to find common ground on certain issues. And we want to see if that can happen. But I will tell you this, as excited as I am about a panda, and that's pretty exciting, it's no substitute for democracy. We came into the area where the pandas they live. And they gave us all these little toy pandas, not real pandas. And I wish people could understand how some of the people in that region were treated by the government that were taking care of those pandas. But anyway, not to go too far down that track. Let me just say, I saw executives go to dinner and that. So like, okay, find your common ground. This is a good thing. Let's see where it leads us. But just remember this. If we do not speak out for democracy and human rights when it comes to China, we lose all moral authority to speak about it any other place in the world. So let's give an opening for things to happen, but let us remember that the integrity, the rule of law, the integrity of borders, the sovereignty of nations, that's what was signed in San Francisco in 1945, the United Nations Charter, and it was sung by China, 1945. So let's let everyone live up to those terms. Rule of law, sovereignty, respect for borders when it comes to Taiwan. And thank you for being a leader in so many ways. I'm trying to fight, not so successfully, to make sure you can be observers in certain UN agencies, the World Health Organization, for example. They have nothing but to benefit from having, if they had Taiwan, be part of that. So thank you for the resource. Thank you for the resource that we are intellectually, values-wise, security-wise, and in so many ways. And I'm pleased to be welcoming you to San Francisco with my husband. We didn't know if he would be able to join us this week, but the court said yes, and we had a good decision this week, so we're so glad that both of us could be here tonight to welcome you to our city, which is very blessed. I'm sure you will all agree, with a very, very strong Taiwan American population. And I want to thank you for your distinguished ambassador that you've sent to the United States. She's quite remarkable. Ms. Liu, we would agree, Congressman Liu, we learned a lot from her, substantively, but culturally, and the Office of Economic and Cultural really so much. We add security to that. That's the basis for our friendship. That's the strength of our relationship, and that is why I'm so pleased and honored to welcome you all here tonight. Sophie, I want to tell you, when I went home from Taiwan, everybody just wanted to know if I met Morris Chang. That was it. Yes, and we were very pleased that under Republican speaker a year, so months later, you were there, Mr. Liu, right? That under Republican speaker, the president of Taiwan was welcomed at the Reagan Library, a prestigious institution in our country, so respected because of the president and because it's his library, and an appropriate place to welcome a courageous leader for democracy, the president of Taiwan. Thank you all so much for that.
Thank you so much, Representative Pelosi. Now, please allow me to summarize and translate what you say. 让我简短的为您翻译刚才 Ms. Pelosi 所说的话。她说，一个国家之所以能够欣欣向荣，安全、经济、政府是至关重要的。她说，台湾的朋友非常有自信，他到台湾之后看到了台湾的民主，也发现台湾和美国有许多的共同之处。他说，台湾和美国是好伙伴，台湾的民主、自由对美国是至关重要的。他也提到了张博士在离开美国之前，曾经对美国做出了许多的贡献。之后，他也提到，当他到台湾造访台湾的时候，看到许多的朋友挥舞着国旗，让他非常感动。最后，他说，大家要继续为民主发声，他也会继续支持中华民国。Thank you so much for your speech. We value your friendship so much. Thank you for your support.
Good evening, everyone. If you're visiting for APEC, welcome to San Francisco. We're very proud of our Taiwan American population in San Francisco and, in fact, in California. I'm here with my colleague Ted Liu, member of Congress, born in Taipei, and perhaps you want to interview him as well. He can speak in Chinese, so I'm jealous of that. But in any event, our relationship with Taiwan is based on the principles of all of our foreign policy, but so excellently a match for U.S. and Taiwan. First of all is security. Security, it's so important. And the security of Taiwan is something that we have said we will ensure that Taiwan will have what it needs to defend itself. Next is economics. Well, we can learn a lot. Morris Chang is here. I met him in Taiwan last year when I was there, and he, when I told him that America had invested $50 billion in chips, and we were very proud of that, he said, that's a good start. That's a good start. And again, whether it's in so many categories, especially in relationship to technology, Taiwan is a leader in the world. You know that. And again, to the extent that we can adjust our tax laws to make it easier for Taiwan, for Morris to invest in the United States, as he told me he's doing, and also for us at some point to have a bilateral trade agreement with Taiwan. That's not unusual. There are countries that support that have a one China policy, for example, Canada, which also have a free trade agreement with Taiwan. That's what we're hoping to do, working toward in our country. So security, economics, values, and governance. Values and governance. What a shining example of democracy and freedom in Taiwan. Hard-earned, not there from day one. That's what I've learned more about. I've been to Taiwan twice now. It's a beautiful thing to see. Hard-earned, fought for, and treasured, and something that we value and respect. But the office here is the Economic and Cultural Office. The cultural part is so important. And the governance part, how people are treated, how the integrity of the economic system, all that's so important. Again, Taiwan a model to the world. So our fight is to, as Mr. Liu just said in there, and I alluded to in my remarks, is to see if we can't have Taiwan be part of many more United Nations agencies of government, like the World Trade Health Organization, for example, because the world can learn a lot from Taiwan. So with that, I welcome you. Please to take any questions you may have.
Madam Speaker, President Xi was here in your city, and I believe you have no problem with the comment that President Biden made that he's a state leader. But are you concerned that this might have any negative impact to the U.S.-China relationship?
Well, I think that it's important for us to always try to find common ground on some subjects. For example, climate change is one that we all have to participate in completely because it is a generational challenge. It's a health problem, clean air, clean water. It's an economic challenge in terms of good, clean jobs. The economy depends on us all advancing that. It's a security problem because with the rising sea levels, the encroachment of deserts, the drying up of rivers, all the rest of that, much of it in China, it is important that we all make a decision in favor of passing on the planet to the next generation. So no one is a health, economic, and security issue. It's a values issue for us. And China is a big emitter. They're trying to be less of an emitter, but they're still a big emitter, as are we. And I think that's one area where we hope to find common ground. Fentanyl issue, as the President said. But there are issues that relate to security in South China Sea, that relate to economics in terms of unfairness in trade relationships, and of course in governance, how they treat their people that are of concern to us. So I don't know, I've been told that human rights have been brought up at this meeting, I hope so. But we won't hesitate to bring them up, whether it's about democracy, crippling democracy in Hong Kong, suppressing the culture in Tibet, having a genocide with the Uyghurs. That cannot be forgotten because we want to pet a panda. I mean, that's a lovely thing. That's a lovely thing, but it's no substitute for doing that as well as respecting the people. So in the Congress of the United States, we have strong bipartisan support on these 4 areas: Tibet, Uyghurs, Hong Kong, as far as within China, and also strong bipartisan support in the House and the Senate for support for Taiwan to have what it needs to defend itself.
Madam Speaker, how do you think your trip to Taiwan last year affected the peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait, and did you achieve your trip's goal?
Yes, I'm very proud of what we did last year. I mean, for the President of Taiwan, President of China to say that the Speaker of the House or anybody should not travel to Taiwan. That was just not. The fact is, you know, for 35 years since Tiananmen Square, I have been, I guess 34 years now, I have been calling out the human rights violations in China, the violations of trade in terms of market access and in terms of piracy of intellectual property, and also from a security standpoint, the sale of delivery system, missile technology, technology that contributes to the manufacture of weapons of mass destruction. So I've been sort of not their best friend in those regards. I do respect the people of China. We're blessed here with a large Chinese population, some Taiwan, some mainland oriented. So while we try to find common ground, we cannot ignore what else is happening. So when they're finding common ground, I want to know what progress they're making on it. Climate, fentanyl, they're urgent and they're now. So let's hope for the best there. But the most excruciating pain that a tyrant, a dictator can inflict on a political prisoner or anyone is to say, or to a country, nobody's paying any attention to you now. People have forgotten about you. It doesn't matter that much anymore. But we want to make sure they know that it does, and we do. and that's why we keep talking about these issues. And so when I went, there were 4 senators had gone like a week or 2 before me, but nobody said boo, right? But when I went, okay, 34 years, we had a lot of history there that they had to speak of, but people around the world and in the Congress, in a bipartisan way, have been very supportive of that trip.
Yes, and there is a saying that Ambassador Shaw, she's preparing going back to Taiwan for the presidential election. So do you think Ambassador Shaw is qualified for the next vice president
Well,
of Taiwan?
I'm not getting involved in the politics of Taiwan. I think she's we are so proud that she is the representative in the United States. She's just been excellent understanding the title of her office, economic and cultural, but also recognizing that security is it tops everything in terms of relationships globally. I'm sure that that's up to I don't know how it is even chosen in Taiwan. I don't know if the president chooses the vice president or they just run separately. See,
They're on the same ticket.
Mhm.
They're on the same ticket.
And chosen by the president?
Yes.
By the
president.
presidential candidate. Well, I certainly wish her and the candidates well, but I'm again, not getting involved in that except to say how proud we are that she's the representative to the United States. How she's been really an intellectual resource, a strategic thinker, and just a wonderful diplomat. That means, listening and understanding. Some time it takes a little longer for some people to arrive at the right decision, but she's always been very patient, very patient. So again, welcome to all of you. We're very proud in San Francisco. I think it went very well. This is the end of the day, the last day, and how appropriate that we're doing it in celebration of so many Taiwan Americans in our country and so many visitors from Taiwan for this important meeting. Mr. Chang said in there that this was, I think, like the 6th or 7th time he has represented the government, and every time he comes, he's a celebrity and someone to be reckoned with. I told him in there when I was in Taiwan, when I came home, they said, "Did you meet Morris?" Well, yeah, I met the president, and they knew that. They knew that, but the next question was that he's quite a global celebrity, and for good reason. What a remarkable genius.
Thank you. That was
Right. Some people in Taiwan are very looking forward to
Yeah.
see her.
You know what? Let me just close with this. You're too young to realize this. When I went to Taiwan, it was the late 90s. I went with some San Francisco, Taiwan. It was a personal kind of visit. Wasn't. What I realized when I got there is that all the good chefs in China were now in Taiwan. The food was spectacular. So I told everybody, if you want to have the best Chinese food, go to Taiwan.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
That's my brief.
谢谢邱代表。那么接下来 OK， 我们就自然开始进行。那么我们是不是在开启开放提问 ？OK， 那我们首先从台湾的公视的那个佩轩。
领袖代表好，我是公视新闻的叶佩轩。
大
好，领袖代表好，我是公视新闻的叶佩轩。想请教这一次在 APEC 过程中有没有跟美国总统拜登进行一些双边会谈？那谈的内容大概是什么？可以跟我们说明一下。然后另外有没有跟中国国家主席习近平有进行一些交流，谈了什么 ？OK， 好 ，With President Biden， 你们有没有双边会谈？
我跟 President Biden 有相当多的 互动，但是没有正式的所谓双边会谈。但是有好几个资深的官员，比方说是 Secretary of State Lincoln， 比方说是 Vice President Kamala， 比方说是白宫的这个经济的这个资深顾问Leo Brenner， 我跟他们几位都有相当深入的讨论。
另外，关于就是有没有跟中国国家主席习近平有一些交流呢？
没有跟习主席有任何这个回答任何的这个谈话。
对，下一位，刚那个 Reuters 的 Michael。
Where are you? Okay, all right.
Thank you. I'm Michael Martina from Reuters. I just wanted to follow up on that question. Can you tell us what your conversations with President Biden and Secretary of State Blinken were like? Did you discuss Taiwan's election coming up next year? Thank you.
Well, my interactions with President Biden of a social, in fact, I might say, humorous nature. Did you ask about my conversation with Blinken? With Secretary Blinken, I mainly conveyed our strong desire for regional peace and prosperity, and also, to some extent, our very strong desire for increasing the supply chain resiliency.
下一位，你看的。
Hi.
Yes.
I'm Masao Okoshi from Nikkei, Japanese newspaper. I'd like to ask your perspective on the bilateral meeting between President Biden and President Xi Jinping. And you said last summer, globalization is almost dead. Is there any change in your assessment of global economy?
These are two separate issues. Two separate. First, you asked me my
perspective on the outcome of the
perspective of
bilateral
Biden and Xi Jinping. Well, you probably, as reporters, you probably know more about the conversation than I do. But I read what you have written, or in your case, have you written anything? Or have you? Well, anyway, I read what you have written, and my observation is that this is a good meeting, Xi Jinping and Biden. A good meeting, and it tends to relax the tension. It re-established the communication channel, and I think it's a good meeting. That's my perspective. And your second question?
Is there any change in your assessment to the world economy after the bilateral meeting?
My assessment, any change in what?
in your perspective about the structure of the world economy. So after the
globalization. That's why I said at one time, at least in chips, globalization is almost dead. At least in chips, free trade is almost dead. I stand on what I said.
下一位，那个 TVBS 讲。
代表你好，我是倪家辉 ，TVBS 的记者。我们知道说，虽然用数字来评价你这一次的成果，并不应该，但我们还是想要问说，您大概和多少的官员或领袖见面？那谁没和您谈晶片？
谁没有跟我谈晶片啊？很多官员，而且很多人。根本就不知道晶片哦，恐怕。Anyway, to answer your question seriously, 他们跟我谈晶片的人是不多啊。Anyway 大概不谈晶片，这是你的问题嘛？谁没有跟我谈晶片？一半以上。
谈晶片的有什么内容可以跟我们分享？
我说出来，也许你认为好笑他们问我晶片到底是怎么一回事？It's true.
OK， 下一位。好，那个 Bloomberg。
I'm Anna Swanson with the New York Times. Can I ask you, Dr. Cheng, what is your view of the investments that the United States is making in semiconductors? Will these investments be effective, and what will this mean for the U.S.-Taiwan relationship?
I'm sorry, would you repeat your question? What is the what?
Your view of the investments that the United States is making in semiconductors in the United States to build up chip facilities.
What is... You're talking about the CHIPS Act.
The CHIPS Act.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know the numbers, and you can look at that number. I think it was 52 billion, but about 39 is for subsidies of investment. Do we resonate? All right. Now, if you compare those numbers to the capital investments that only just TSMC makes. TSMC makes, on the average, $30-some billion a year. So, the CHIPS Act, $39 billion is for subsidy over a number of years. TSMC is spending that much or even more than that every year.
Are you saying it's too small to be effective, or?
Well, no, I didn't say that. You didn't ask that either.
Is it too small to be effective?
Are you asking now?
Yes.
Well, I will answer by just repeating what I said almost 2 years ago. 2 years ago now, in a podcast when I was talking with Dr. Ryan Hess, and my answer to him at that time was that anything like what the CHIPS Act was going to appropriate would be a wasteful exercise in futility.
Thank you.
Does
Next person.
Okay, Nippon TV.
Thank you so much. My name is Abe, Japan Nippon TV. So Dr. Chan, TSMC is constructing a plant in Kumamoto Prefecture. Could you tell us how you are planning to expand your business in Japan?
Would you repeat that? I didn't hear what you said.
I'm talking about TSMC is constructing a plant in Kumamoto Prefecture.
Oh, Kumamoto.
Yeah. Could you,
Wow.
So how do you expand your business in Japan?
Is this a TSMC
Yes.
question?
Yes.
Well, you should ask TSMC.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm serious because, you know, I really don't know all the details of TSMC's business.
And how do you see semiconductor industry in Japan? How do you see future for Japan?
Well, of course, I know in general that TSMC's Japan progress is quite good, the current TSMC. I know that in general, as I said. Yeah. And I also know from my past experience with Japan's semiconductor industry that Japan has a very strong potential or very strong potential competitive advantage in semiconductor manufacturing.
Next. 工商时报。
我是工商的月华，我想问一下，就是我们这次双边会谈有谈到供应链韧性的部分是谈了什么？因为很多国家在关心。那还有在半导体跟台积电的部分有没有谈到什么？尤其是跟那个美国白宫的官员有没有谈到晶片的部分？
对不起，以前
我想问一下，就是供应链韧性的部分，就是跟各国
什么
供应链韧性，然后跟各国聊到了什么？
供应链的韧性怎么样？
聊到了什么？各国的看法，或是您提出的看法？
供应链的韧性，各国的看法。我想各国都希望所有的供应链都比较更为韧性。不过这个好像是，这是你要问的吗？
对，因为他们说你跟其他国家都有谈到供应链的部分，所以想说要了解这一块。
那我谈到的部分是主要还是在这个电子的供应链方面，尤其是在这个半导体的供应链方面，大家都希望这个供应链比较更为韧性。那我也跟他们讲了，我们的确就以台积电而言吧，就不但最近几年是非常强力的，是增加在台湾的产能，而且还在美国跟日本投资了蛮多产能所以我们正在很努力的增加这个供应，这个半导体供应链的这个韧性。
那我们在美国，就是台积电的部分，还有在扩厂的计划吗？
我现在根本就还是现在还没有产了，所以还没有。根本还没有生产啊，任何增加都是扩产了。
Okay, next. AFP.
Okay. 领袖代表你好，我是 KTSF 26台的记者古林佳。I'm a reporter with KTSF TV, it's a Chinese TV station in San Francisco Bay Area. Welcome to San Francisco. My question is, as we know you have attended so many APEC summits, can you compare this time it's hosted by America? And you also mentioned, share about your interaction with the US officials. So can you compare with this meeting compare this meeting with a previous meeting you have attended? Do you feel the firm friendship by the US government? Thank you.
Compare this meeting with previous meetings with respect to location and what?
Not the location, but because you have attended so many APEC summits, and this time it's hosted by the US. And what's your feedback? What impressed you most?
Well, of course. Well, I do want to talk about location a bit. I love San Francisco. And coming back to San Francisco, this must be maybe 1,000th time I've been here, maybe 1,000 times. Coming back to San Francisco, I think is great. Now, as far as the meeting itself is concerned, I certainly have seen more high-level, important officials this time than the previous times, because the previous times I was never in a U.S. location. In the previous meetings that I attended, the previous APEC meetings I attended were all held outside the U.S. So this is the first time that I've attended that's in the U.S. and I've certainly seen more high-level U.S. officials than in the past, than in any past meetings.
Next question. Jia Wen.
领袖代表你好，我是三立新闻的记者陈嘉文。有一个问题想要请教哦，因为您刚刚有提到，在 APEC 整个会议当中，有非常多的领袖代表关心这个半导体的供应链的这个韧性。但是在美国的政界，其实有一个说法，他们认为是说，这个美国护卫台海的稳定，其实是有个期限。那个期限就是这个半导体能不能独立，类似这个 R&D Center 会不会就是离开台湾？如果他们离开了台湾之后，
后两句是什么？你说？
他是在美国的政界有一个说法，他们是认为说美国护卫台海。就是直到这个半导体独立之前，就是说，在这个如果 R&D Center 还在台湾的话，他们就会持续的保护台湾；那如果没有的话，那他们就不一定会这么努力了。你自己认同这样子的看法吗？
假如有你这个都是很 hypothetical， 我不加评论啊，因为这个事实上是只要看这个表面，我想就不是。这样子的第一，我刚刚也在讲了，这个要在美国就重新建立像台积电这样的 capacity， 简直是一个不可能的事情，在短期当中是一个不可能的事情。那这个都是你刚刚讲的都是臆测了，我是觉得。你是什么报纸啊？
我是三立电视，因为这个说法是这个美国的另一个总统的参选人，他有提到这样子的说法，所以我们想来听听看你的意见。
历任谁？历任什么？
历名总统
应该是美国的总统参选人。
对。
历任的美国参选人。
应该是一位而已。
一名。
对。
是谁啊？
嘉文，这个是后面再补充。好，那我们就 next question。那个读卖新闻。
Hi, my name is Yuko Bukai from Japanese newspaper Yomiuri Dumai Shinwan. And my question is about your today's meeting with Prime Minister Kishida, Japanese Prime Minister. What was the talk about the security in the Taiwan Strait? And also, I want to know about what was your talk about chip investments between to Japan? Thank you.
Today, we did not specifically talk about the Taiwan Strait because, simply because we both know where the other party stands. When we both Japan and Taiwan want peace in Taiwan Strait. So there was no reason to repeat that. So in today's meeting, we did not specifically talk about Taiwan Strait.
What about the one like a chip investment in Japan? Chip, semiconductor.
Mr. Kishida, Prime Minister Kishida, expressed satisfaction and pleasure in TSMC's investment in Japan.
Next question. AP.
张先生你好，我是美联社唐迪迪。我的问题是，在这次 APEC 会议当中，除了和美方高级官员谈话以外，你有没有和别的 APEC 成员的国家领袖有会谈？这些会谈的内容主要涉及哪一方面？在多大程度上，台湾可以减少对中国大陆的经济的依赖性？谢谢。
我是跟除了因为刚刚开头的那个问题是问我跟美国的这个互动那我就讲了跟美国官员。事实上，你说讲我跟这次会议的领袖有什么互动我想我跟超过一半以上的这个领袖一共只有20几个国家，我想我跟10几个国家都有谈话，都有互动那你还有问题吗？
问题是你跟他们谈了什么？然后有多大？你和这些领袖谈了什么？在多大程度上可以减少对中国大陆的经济的依赖性？
我没有跟他们谈经济的依赖性他们的经济依赖，我只是可是他们的这个我跟他们谈的题目也是都是集中在这个和平、这个经济发展以及那个供应链的这个韧性这几个题目。
Dr. Chang, I'm Joyson from Taiwan Plus News. If I could ask, as we're wrapping up your 7th time representing Taiwan for APEC, is there a lingering issue that is in the back of your mind that will kind of be keeping you away? As you wrap As you wrap up your 7th time representing Taiwan at the APEC summit, is there a lingering issue that's going to be at the back of your head leading this year's summit?
I'm sorry, I still do not. Do you understand? Maybe you can repeat the question.
Shorten your question, summarize to the point only, not background all time.
Is there a topic that's...
Yeah. 你能不能够你想要懂的话，能够 repeat 他的 question?
Is there a topic that's still in the back of your mind out of this year's summit?
Slowly, please.
Is there an issue from this year's summit that...
Is there issue on...
from this year's talks...
Huh?
From this year's talks...
Business talk?
That's still going to keep you up at night.
今年有什么议题您还是有特别想要谈，或者是特别想要讲的部分？
跟谁啊？我并不是要你 translate， 我要你 repeat 他的话。假如你听得懂的话。
Or is there a topic that you didn't get to discuss at this year's talks?
Is there any topic that I didn't get to discuss in this conference?
That you wish to bring up?
I discussed every topic I wanted to discuss. There's no topic that I want to discuss, that I wanted to discuss, I didn't discuss.
Hello, Dr. Chen. My name is Naomi Lim and I'm with the Washington Examiner. Just to follow up on my colleague's question, can Taiwan reduce its economic dependence on China?
Oh, I mean, that's a general question. Can Taiwan reduce its dependence, its economic dependence on China? No, I mean, that you should ask an economic official that, a Taiwan economic official that. In fact, I'm not even sure that your question is entirely logical. I mean, apparently, you think that Taiwan cannot reduce this. Well, anyway, I think that question should be asked of an economic affairs official in Taiwan. Perhaps.
Next question. 蓝衣服的六，不好意思，没有认识。
谢谢，你好，我是美国之音的记者丽雅。张博士你好。第一个问题，您怎么看美国政府对中国实施的高科技产品，尤其是高端芯片的出口管制？在这个问题上，您在峰会期间是否跟美方有过交流？
我在峰会的就是这几天了，是没有跟美国。事实上，我是表示，我支持这个美国的那种，当然他们多有效是另外一个问题，但是我们这个至少台积电而言，会完全支持这个美国的它的禁运这些东西。
你再补问一个问题好吗？
我们是不是先你的问题 ？Next。
代表好，我是那个中央广播电台的记者谢嘉欣。我想请问一个题目是，您刚刚提到说该讲的、想讲的都有讲了，那您认为有完成蔡总统交付您的4个任务吗？
我完成了，他要我就是传递的4个讯息你记不记得那4个讯息？请你一个一个讲出来。你不记得的话，你问我干嘛？他叫我传到4个讯息，我都传到了。
张博士您好，我是自由亚洲电台的记者孙成。我的问题是，您觉得您的这次 APEC 之行，可不可以说是一次成功的这个参会呢？如果您觉得成功的话，您觉得您这次 APEC 之行最大的成果是什么呢？谢谢。
这个并不是很多事情都不是能够成功或者失败来表达的比方说这次吧我认为我的任务就是传达蔡总统要我传达的4个讯息。那我觉得我已经做到了，所以你说这是成功吗？然后你说是成功，我也同意你。假如说你这个不是成功，那我要问你，你什么时候才算成功啊？Anyway， 我做到了这个蔡总统给我的任务，就是要传达，就是要全力传达这4个讯息。
Okay, next